Friday, October 20th, 2023, and oh my goodness, what a day. Um Big doings on the View, big doings just all around. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. That came out of nowhere. Let me quench my thirst with a little vodka or soda. So uh the president's speech last night was fucking phenomenal. And the ladies had it fully correct that's exactly what he needed to do. He needed to lay out for the American public why defending democracy overseas is so important to our own safety. And everything that they said is 100% correct about drawing the parallels between the two wars in Ukraine and Israel, and just talking about basic humanity. But one of the biggest points he's making is if we let Ukraine fall, that just emboldens Russia to invade other places that are our NATO allies. And then we have no choice but to send troops on the ground to those places to defend our NATO allies. And he's basically saying, let's help them. They're not asking for our people. They're asking for our assistance and our weaponry so that they can defend themselves. Let's give them that so that we don't have to ultimately send our own troops over to Europe to fight what would ultimately become the Third World War. I mean, he didn't say that, but it's like we're saving our troops by helping them win the war on their own with our assistance. So I thought that speech was brilliant, totally relatable, totally like plain spoken, but heartfelt and um, and strategic. Like this is part of global democracy, and it's something the orange guy doesn't know how to do. So I thought it was genius. I you know he wasn't my pick as a nominee for 2020, but like I'm very thankful to have him leading the country at this particular moment in time. Um, and a total aside, I just feel like it would be a mistake to think that the House being in disarray, um, and without a speaker, and the timing of Hamas's attack on Egypt aren't really a coincidence. We know that the former guy sold intel. We know that Gates is, in the back pocket of the former guy, as is Jim Jordan. If you want to get to Israel, we will make sure that the U.S. government can't function. It was either going to be debt ceiling or budget talk or whatever they could figure out. Kevin McCarthy screwed them on the budget thing, and funded the government for 45 days, so they ousted him. That stops the government from functioning, and being able to pass laws, which clears Hamas to go into Israel, and our hands are tied because we can't do anything. So not to be tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist, but I just can't think that those events are not connected. In other news regarding the House and the United States disarray, like a moron, Jim Jordan, the accused pedophile, let them have another vote, and he lost more votes this time. He had 25 votes against him instead of, he started out at 20, then it was 22, now it's 25, and they did a secret ballot in the afternoon, and they removed him from being the nominee. So now they'll leave for the weekend, and Monday they'll start over and try to find a new nominee. Fucking shit show. And you know what? If you don't want to see this kind of bullshit happen in government, stop voting for Republicans. Wait, is that right? Did I say that right? Or was there too many double negatives? I don't know. It's not my first vodka today. So then we move on to the Sidney Powell story. And she's pled guilty in the Georgia case. And oh my God, Sunny Hostin was hilarious because she's 100% correct. She knows her legal shit, that this is, she got a sweetheart deal, which means that she is going to give them everything that they want, and testify against anybody else. And then, and Sonny said, that's just going to start the dominoes rolling, because we're trying to get Trump. If you don't want to get caught up in it, you can come on this train. But if you don't get in early, you're going to lose the options, because she got a sweetheart deal because she's like first to go. And then his other attorney also pled guilty this afternoon. So that's two so far. That Georgia case is going to fuck him. And he got fined $5,000 by the judge in the fraud case in New York for violating the gag order rule, and told him, this is your cautionary tale, your $5,000 fine. If it happens again, you're looking at jail time. I hope he means it, and I hope he does it, because God knows Trump will fuck this up again. He can't keep his mouth shut. So that's very exciting. Then what else? I don't know where else we are. But then they had a segment on Nepo babies. And, you know, who really gives a flying fuck what Gwyneth Paltrow thinks or says about anything? She also said in that same interview that, you know, once she sells Goop, she will disappear from public life forever. You'll never see her again. Okay, no problem. Not worried about that. But she's complaining about the term Nepo baby because it's only criticized in, you know, in the I guess she's saying in the entertainment industry, which is not true. It's criticized fucking everywhere. But it gets written about the most because we know who these people are. They're famous. Like, that's, nobody gives a shit about, you know, Chad, who got his job at the law firm from his dad, Lowell. Like, nobody gives a shit. And you know, I mean, I've had those situations where my dad's influence helped me get a job, and I was one of those people where it's like, well, these people all hate me because they know who my dad is, so I gotta fucking, you know, bust my ass to make sure that they know I'm not, you know, that I'm legit and I can do this job. And anytime that ever happened, I did win everyone over, because I smart. But Ana Navarro took the mantle for what everyone was thinking when talking about Nepo babies, and saying that, you know, there are people who get a leg up, who understand that there's a privilege, and appreciate that, and have an understanding of what that means, and do their best to work hard. And then there is another kind of Nepo baby, I can't believe she just said it straight out, that start every sentence with, my father. Who could that be in reference to? Not sure. She did say then, you know, my father or my mother. And then went on this tirade about those assholes, who don't understand their privilege, are talentless dolts, toxic brats, and make everyone's lives miserable because they know they can't be fired because of their last name. Huh. Can't imagine who that was about. And then Sarah, who, by the way, has been having a really interesting hair situation all week. You know, it's finally grown out, and she's getting these like blowouts that are, they're not necessarily trendy, but they're so interesting. I'm loving it. Anyway, it's got like a kind of a throwback vibe, but with a little bit of a twist to it. She looked great with her big skirt and her all like monochrome outfit. Anyway, she says, you know, she's worked with the Nepo babies who've worked twice as hard, just to prove themselves. And Ana goes, not here. Oh God, I just love it when they troll Meghan without actually naming her. They don't need to. Last week, or maybe it was earlier this week, they did a piece on the something that the Daily Mail published, and and Joy was like, "Oh, the Daily Mail." Like, we know what that's all about. We know who works there. Oh God, I just love it. Anyway, so dear Meghan, your legacy at the View is not forgotten. Everyone remembers how often you mentioned your father. I just realized I left my TV on in the other room, so that's what all that flashing is in the background. I'm not, I don't have a DJ set going on like Sunny did for her birthday today, which, by the way, was fucking phenomenal. I can't believe how old that song is, Rapper's Delight. I mean, I remember it when I was a kid. So I know it's old, but it was like, holy shit, the guy can still do it. So anyway, that was super fun. And I guess we have no Speaker of the House for the rest of the weekend. That drama continues to next week. Every point that is made about the war in Israel, I think it is very valid. I did hear on the radio today. I was listening to our local public radio, and they were talking about how in Israel it's very militant, that any kind of sympathy towards Palestinians is considered like treason. And I'm like, well, that's shitty. You've got to have respect for the innocent civilians on both sides of that war, because Hamas doesn't represent anyone but their own terrorist agenda, which is to kill Jews and eradicate the Israeli state. So, well, that's a bummer of a way to end the week. So we'll just focus on Meghan being humiliated today. Oh, sit on that, Megs.